Hey guys, what's going on? Al with Al's Lawn Care here. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the experience I've had with the Kubota Z421. Now if you've been watching my videos for a little while now, you'll know that in this past season, I decided to invest in a bigger mower. I had just been running with a little 48-inch walk behind that mows really slow. And I've gotten a lot more accounts that are, 2 acres, that size, and I just needed something to really speed me up. When you're solo and you need to knock out, a bunch of yards, just any little bit helps. And anyways, that's why I decided to buy a mower. So I went to my local dealer and I asked what they had, what mowers they had in a certain price range, or what would be the most cost effective for my money. And right away the Kubota stuck out to me just because it was on the cheap side. The specs were good. It came with, I think, a 24 horse Kawasaki engine, and it had a 60-inch deck. I came out and I test drove one for, just 10 minutes or whatever, and I liked the way it handled. It feels light and responsive to your input and control, and I thought the price and what you were getting made it something that I should definitely look into. I believe the price was something like $7,000, pretty much like $7,000 after taxes, and I put an insurance policy on it. My total was about $8,000, just a little bit less than that, and I came away with a brand new prosumer. That's Kubota's term for this mower. I came away with a brand new prosumer mower. It's meant to bridge the gap between residential mowers and commercial mowers. Anyways, that's the background on this. So I got the mower and went out and I started mowing yards, and boy, did it make a difference. Yards that took me an hour and a half, I could now do in an hour and 10 minutes real easy. And that might not sound like a lot, but that extra 20 minutes across 5 yards, that's an extra 100 minutes. That's how many yards are you extra? I mean, that's huge when you're on a time push and trying to get as much done as possible. At the time, I was only working in the evenings, and I needed every extra hour that I could get. I would work all day at another local landscape company, put in 10, 12 hours there, and then I would work until dark with whatever time I had left over, doing my own accounts and that sort of thing. So it was really helping me out. I believe I put on about 10 to 15 hours, and that's when the trouble started. So I was mowing this yard, large, wide open, and it just started. Well, here's what the problem was. There was water in the tank, or so I thought, and it was just running real rough, and so I decided to stop, and I assumed that because it sounded like there was water in the lines, that's what I assumed it was. So I went and bought a product to take the water out of the tank, and I dumped that in it. I let that sit for 15 minutes or something like that, and then I turned it on and let it just idle for I don't remember how long, like another 15 minutes or something like that. And the idle originally was pretty rough, and then it smoothed out and it seemed to be going much better. So I decided to hop on and just drive it around a little bit without turning the mower deck on, just to get everything circulating real good, and it seemed to be working fine. So I I started mowing the yard, and it worked perfectly for the rest of the yard. Ran it for another half an hour, something like that, and it was running fine. Go to the next yard on my list, start mowing maybe 5 minutes in, and it starts acting up. And at this point, like I said, I've only got 10 or 15 hours on this. So, of course, when the trying to take the water out of the tank didn't work, I just took it straight back to the shop and said, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you guys take a look at it? And they said, yeah, sure. We'll do that for you. And they agreed with me. It sounded like water in the tank, and they were gonna take a look at it. Well, as they were looking at it, they discovered that a fuel line grommet had started deteriorating, and so it was sucking air, is what they were telling me. Also, I think that might have been where water was getting into the line. I'm not sure exactly, but anyways, I left it there. They said, hey, we'll replace this for you, we'll get it out. So I wait like a day, maybe two. They were pretty busy at the time, and I go and pick the thing up, and they said, yeah, we replaced the grommet, it should be good to go. And so I took it out. On the first job, it immediately started acting up, doing the same thing over again. So I took it back. They were saying, well, maybe it's a problem electrical, in the electrical system, somewhere like that. So they were looking at it. I believe this time they said, oh, the PTO clutch. I'm getting my facts mixed up, but anyways, the gist of it was, when I engaged the mower blades, something was turning harder than it was meant to do, and it was taking a lot of power to turn something that shouldn't have taken a lot of power, is the gist of it. I can't remember the specifics. It may have been the clutch that was just turning real rough, something like that. Guys, don't laugh at me, I'm not a mechanic, okay? That's what they told me. They said, well, we're going to go ahead and replace that for you, and it should take care of the problem. So they did that, and they ran it at the shop for an hour or two, they said. They just had it idling there, and then they had a guy mow with it for a little bit of time, and it didn't give them any trouble. So I came and picked the mower up, took it out, and on like the first or second job that I did with it, it started acting up again. So at this point, I'm getting pretty frustrated, and so I take it back to the guy, and I'm like, did I get a lemon here? Like, can we just swap this machine out for a new unit? And he said, no, I don't have the power to do that. That's all through Kubota. And Kubota didn't want to do that. So the guy said, we're going to take another look at it. And so they did that, and then they discovered that the fuel line grommet that had deteriorated originally had like parts of that had dissolved and like crumbled into the fuel line, and then that was causing problems that way. It was making it act up and act like it had water in the lines, just because those little particles were getting in there, clogging the carburetor and just making a mess. So what they did was they cleaned that all out, and they were going to flush the tank and make sure that that got all cleaned out. So they did that, gave it back to me, said it's good to go. We've ran it for an hour, and you know, no trouble. Took it out, and I think maybe it worked for a day or two. Started acting up again. So I take it back to the shop, and I said, look guys, this is costing me time, this is costing me money, and by the way, at this point, it's been a solid month and a half of trying to get this mower running, just because it's the time between mowings, when I picked the mower up and tried to mow with it, and those guys, their shop was just swamped all the time. They had to it was taking a long time to get it fixed, is what I'm saying. It was over weekends and that sort of thing. Like the mower, I would pick it up on a Friday and then bring it back Friday evening after the shop had already closed. And so, of course, they didn't get a chance to even think about looking at it until Monday. But anyways, that was the situation. It was taking so much time. Just running back and forth to the shop was taking so much time away from me. And like I said earlier, I needed all the time I could get. So I said to the guy, I'm like, come on, man, this is starting to get ridiculous. Like, can we do something about this? Can you contact Kubota? He said, okay, I'm going to see what I can do with Kubota. So apparently he called up Kubota, and he had mentioned about like replacing the unit, and they didn't want to do that. They thought it could still be fixed. So they sent out pretty much an entirely new fuel system, new tank, new lines, new carburetor, new everything. And they said, you know, just do this, and it should take care of the problem. So the guys did that, and it worked. Finally, I had my Kubota running, but by this time, I almost had made 3 payments on it. I was getting ready to make my 3rd payment. And it was just so frustrating. But I did get the mower back, and I started mowing with the thing, and it mows so nicely. It leaves amazing stripes. Here's some pictures that I posted on Instagram of the stripes from this thing. It does a great job striping. It has enough power. Like, I was a little bit worried about the power with the 60-inch deck, if I was going to have enough. And it does bog down a bit in like super tall grass, but what I'm talking about, almost any mower would, with the exceptions of a few, of course. But it did really well. It performed, got the job done. Yeah, I was just really enjoying working with this mower. It cut so much time, saved so much time, I mean. Yeah, it's fun to run. It's not the most uncomfortable seat in the world. It's fairly comfortable, and it doesn't take an extraordinary amount of gas. Like, it takes what you would expect. And yeah, I was happy with it once it finally got running right. But the process to get it running was so frustrating. It made me regret buying this particular mower so much. But now that I have it running, I'm very happy with it. It does a great job. The mower now has 65 hours on it, which is not a lot, I know. I'm hoping it continues to run the way that it has been, but only time will tell on that. Anyway, overall, would I buy this mower again? Absolutely not. Now, I hate to give a bad review, but this experience, there's no other option. Like, I can't, in my head, I assume that this was just this one unit that had all these troubles, but I can't do that. I have to judge all the other mowers based off of this experience. So, will I be buying another Z421? Absolutely not. I just can't. I can't risk that sort of thing. For me, in my mind, it would be worth it. Spend a little bit more money, get an X mark, maybe something like that, and just have. I have pretty high faith in X mark. I think they make pretty good mowers, and you know, it would give me ease of mind. But anyways, yeah, that was my experience with the Kubota. I hate to say bad things about a product, but that's what my experience was. It was a bad experience. Didn't enjoy the experience at all. But anyways, it's running good now, and I am very grateful for that. Thank you guys for watching the review. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, and if you want to see more videos, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.